Hello, welcome back. Well, today was the first day opening of Parliament that the Conservatives have watched from the opposition benches for 14 years. Earlier, I spoke to the Shadow Science Secretary, Andrew Griffith. Very good to have you on the programme. What's your reaction to the King's speech?
Well, there's a lot in it, clearly. This is the moment when the rubber hits the road. The government, with its mandate of sorts, lays out its agenda. For my party, the job now is to be a constructive official opposition. The country needs that. The government's got the lowest mandate of any modern-day government, about 34% of the vote. It's actually 35 bills, I'm told. So there's more bills in this than their percentage share of the mandate. And, you know, I've observed you've got some of Labour's greatest hits here. You know, you've got nationalisation of railways, you've got a state-owned energy company, you've got a lot more red tape, employment legislation. They're even trying to legislate and regulate AI, which is an emerging technology.
Interesting, one of the things that they are really going for is growth. Kind of gives me flashbacks to when you were in Liz Truss's government, and that's what you were trying to do as well, wasn't it?
Well, I think it's what every government tries to do, is to grow the prosperity of people in the United Kingdom, give them longer, higher quality lives. There are some inconsistencies, and I'm not saying this is the first time you've ever seen those, but you've got, on the one hand, you know, a push for planning deregulation, saying that's going to help growth, but you've also got the reimposition of top-down command and control targets. You have got some things that are going to make it very hard to mobilise investment. You've got that vindictive attack on private education. We've heard about non-dom tax. Well, no, if you're trying to get growth, Sophie, you need the capital to do that. We all operate in global economies.
But just talking about planning, which is something that you tried to do as well, it does feel that, you know, they are really driving on that. They're prepared to override local concerns. Growth is everything. That's a good thing, isn't it?
Well, we all want the homes the nation needs, for sure. But on the one hand, I mean, I'm just illustrating that, you know, there's a tension here. On the one hand, they talk about devolution. That's putting communities in control, something I support. But if you believe in communities having the last word and making the decisions, you don't also impose top-down command and control targets from Whitehall. That's just one of the tensions that, as the opposition, it'll be our job, constructively where we can, but to tease out exactly where they come on this. You talk about planning, but actually the place where homes are needed the most and have built the least is London. And you didn't need a Labour government because you've had a Labour mayor with all of the planning powers in London. They could have got on and done that. So to me, it says it's not just about, you know, oh, that it were, but it's not just about pulling one single lever. These are often quite complex issues.
The other thing that we're hearing loud and clear from this Labour government is effectively saying that the inheritance that they've got is terrible, right? Whether it's prisons, whether it's the economy, across the board. Do you accept that you've left a poor inheritance to this government?
Absolutely not. All governments, not every government gets things right all the time. But I think the one thing, particularly as it relates to the economy, is that the OBR makes the government books an open book, right? The data is out there. Paul Johnson says that, you know, no government can come on in because of the way the OBR lays out what the economic state of the government finances looks like. And they've got a government that, unlike that note where we came in and it said there's no money left, inflation's now back down to 2%, having been 11%. Unemployment's around 4%, one of its lowest rates in history. And the UK economy, although all economies are struggling with the growth, the UK economy is growing the fastest of any G7. So you are going to see that. We heard a little bit of that from Keir Starmer today. They're going to try and throw up their hands, say things are much worse, as an excuse for trying to raise taxes. But that is not right. The British people should not be fooled by that. The OBR publishes all of the states of public finance.
We also see the state of public finances with, you know, the huge levels of debt, for example, as well, don't we? It's not all a rosy picture.
No, and I'm not saying that at all. But what the picture is, Sophie, is exactly the picture it was 6 weeks ago and 8 weeks ago and 10 weeks ago, because of the way that the OBR publishes in clear and plain sight the state of public finances. Both parties presented a set of balanced decisions at the election. So I think the one thing, and it's particularly true of the economy, but there's lots of government data on a lot of states of the government-delivered public services, but particularly true on the economy, where you've got the independent OBR. Nobody should be coming in and saying it's worse than we thought. It's exactly the same as it was at the start of the election.